Hey guys, William here, and make sure you learn a little more every day. And the topic of today is object context and scope of functions. So how about that work? In order to understand the object context, you guys have to know that JavaScript is a single threaded language. By that I mean there's only one execution into the stack trace, and everything else that is executed will have its own scope. For instance, I call the function first here, but there is like a cascade of declaration and calls. So first call, second and third and fourth and so forth, so forth. So by that I mean fourth will be executed in the first place, then third and second. So you will wonder how the context work. The truth is, if I have a variable in here that has the same name as the third one, this one will override that one. So the lower level will override the top level. And the lower level has access to all the upper level variable in its own scope. So that's how it works. So in order to show you how it works and how you can fix some conflicts, I'll use a variable, I'll use an example. I'll just call a handler, and the handler will have a type in here. I'll call it custom event handler. Then I use a callback function so that it's simply function that will have its signature and even. Then what all it does is I want to see the type, so I'm expecting to see this at the end, just custom event handler when I call this on an event. And I'll use it on an event now I'll trigger it with the function with the button selector in here, class button, so this one, and I'll say, hey, what happened when I click on it? When I click on it, I'll say, okay, I just want to use my handler and the function, the callback function, so that it will output custom event handler, but something different will happen. I'll explain why to you. So I'm just reloading it to have the JavaScript kick in, and I click, but I have button instead of custom event handler. Why? Because in the scope chain, this selector has executed the function. So all the type associated inside that scope will be linked to this. And we see that the button has a type called button. So that's why it shows button in here instead of that. So in order to correct that, you need to correct the actual context. What is the context you want your function to be executed in? And in order to do that, you can use a proxy. So the proxy is simple. You will just replace the context inside the stack trace of the function we're executing here with the actual context you guys want to use. And I'll use the handler in here, and I'll close it, so that if I reload and I press this, I have custom event handler. So this fixed the problem with the context that we wanted to be tied to handler by adding it in here with the proxy that would just hide the true context of the function and use a custom context. So if you guys like this type of content, advanced JavaScript and advanced programming, I strongly recommend you to subscribe to my channel so that I can post on a daily basis and give you guys some tricks and tips.